Hello everyone, my name is Cameron and this is my participant Naoko. And today we're going to be doing the part one of our form technique form. Today we're going to be focusing on lower body exercises. Our two core exercises are going to be the goblet squat, which is going to be our squat variation, and then remaining deadlifts, which is going to be our deadlift variation, and then we're going to go into seated leg extension. So I'm going to demonstrate, and for our first exercise, which is going to be the goblet squat. The goblet squat's a great exercise because we grab a dumbbell or whatever weight is appropriate, and we're going to be gripping here at the base of the first kind of knob. So we have support. We're going to be pressing this and keeping this in front of our chest, about chin level. And we're going to be positioning our feet a little wider than hips, with our toes slightly rotated out for a good range of motion. And then here, we're going to keep the core engaged, rotating the pelvis here, and we're going to be going into hip flexion and knee flexion, and keeping the chest up. Weight distribution is all the way through our feet here, and we're just going to be pressing up, and we're looking for, again, parallel of our femur into our knees. And again, we want to just keep that body upright, keep the weight here, and press up. Going into hip extension and knee extension. So here you go. And then you're going to be doing 3 to 5 reps. So, and then after that, we'll kind of look at your form and see how it looks. And then we'll go to a 4-pound dumbbell. Okay, and rest. We're going to take that from you. A couple of things that I noticed was in the first couple reps, she had the dumbbell extended and not to the chest. And you could see on a couple of reps that she had her weight kind of coming up on the toes rather than through the full mid-foot. So again, we want to just really kind of pin that here, chest up, and again, sit kind of more to the back. And then press up through almost the midfoot here, because when we extend this out, that's when we kind of have our weight forward where we want to be in the center. So we can have you try with the 4-pound weight now, and then you can go for, again, 3 to 5 reps. Again, just try to keep that weight to the chest, and really keep the weight centered kind of in the midline rather than on the toes. Good. And you can rest. Beautiful, that was good. Yeah, you were good. She was getting really good depth with her femur, pretty much parallel with the ground. She had the weight, again, pinned to her chest, and she started to change that weight distribution towards the midfoot to the back heel. So that will conclude our first exercise. Thank you. Okay, so to start, we're going to be doing our next exercise, which is going to be the remaining deadlift. So the fundamentals of this exercise, again, is working a lot of our hamstrings. So we're going to be going into hip flexion. We're going to start with the dumbbells, again, in front of our hips, and we're going to try to keep them in line with our feet as we go down. To initiate the exercise, we're again going to hinge at the hips, just lowering that dumbbell to the ground and in line with our feet. It's important that we're keeping good neutral spine or extended spine as we go down and the shoulders back here, just allowing that weight to drop. Again, you should feel good stimulation and stretch in the hamstrings here. Then you can head slightly up, and you should go down to where you're not breaking or rounding the spine. So again, just below knees to start off with should be good. Again, just focus on keeping the back straight, having that weight just come straight down, and having a slight bend in the knees. And again, just starting that motion with the hips going backwards. So again, it's not going to be like a squat. You're not bending at the knees. You're bringing the hips straight back to the wall. And then back up. Again, driving the hips forward and going into hip extension. So you can give that a try. And you can face it that way. And one more rep. And come up. Okay. So a couple of things that I noticed. When you're going down to the rep, you're kind of almost bending over rather than extending and bringing the hips back to start the motion. Whereas your shoulders are coming forward and you're going a little too far where the shoulders are rounding. So you might want to shorten the range of motion. Again, we want the dumbbells to not go above the toes or past the toes. You want to keep those dumbbells really close to your body here and just straight down to the feet. And it's pretty easy if you keep the hips just going back, because again, you're starting by hinging forward and putting your weight forward to go down, where you can naturally just go down by bringing the butt back. So again, first thing here, just the butt going straight back. Yeah, and again, try to keep the shoulder blades back, so you want to kind of pin, yeah. Retract the shoulders, and then can you face this way for me? Okay, and then you just bring the hips straight back, and then head up slightly. And then just try to get to about knee level. So keep the knees pretty straight, or slightly bent, but just bring the hips back. Good. And then back up by driving the hips forward. So instead of, you have these muscles here that extend your spine, try to, when you're here, bring the hip just straight forward. Good. Perfect. And then you can just do about 3 reps for that. Yes. And rest. Good job. So I'll give you a couple seconds and then we'll do that with the 4-pound weights. So again, the form's pretty good. Again, just try to hip drive. So again, here, and you're just bringing instead, because you're kind of going here, and then you're lifting using your back to come up. So you're like lifting and then bringing the hips. Where you want to be coming down and just driving with the hips to start the motion of coming up. But you're doing good corrections there. So again, 3 to 5 reps. And rest. That's good. All right, we'll conclude our second exercise. Okay, so we're back for the final exercise. This is going to be a unilateral leg extension machine. This is a great machine for stability and just really targeting our quadriceps, especially addressing imbalances because it is unilateral. So again, the weight of the left leg is going to be lifting one load compared to the right leg lifting another. So this is again address muscular strength within the quadriceps and imbalances that might be affecting both legs during a bilateral exercise. To begin, we're just going to be getting the seated position. Again, we're going to get our legs past these, and we want to adjust the seat so that our legs can freely go through leg extension. So this is pretty good for me. Again, we'll adjust it for Naoko. But again, when we're seated here, we want to make sure that our back is flatly and pressed against us, supporting our back when we leg extension. And we want everything very still when we're just working this leg so that we're not compensating with any different body parts. And to demonstrate, I'm just gonna set this at a very light weight. And again, there's handles on the side, and we're gonna go through the concentric motion of it, just extending the leg, again, keeping the knee and thighs stabilized, again, and then controlling the weight as we come down. And again, we wanna get as much range of motion as we can, and then extending, and again, controlling the weight as it comes down, working the eccentric part of the muscle. And that's it. And then we're gonna be working the other leg. So again, you're gonna have to adjust the weight for both sides. And again, just extending at the knee, and slowly allowing that eccentric muscle to work and hold the weight. And rest. Again, we have these right here to change the range of motion here. So again, the most range of motion, especially with the light loads, the best, because you work the muscle in its complete length. And just to get out, I like to pull this so I can have a little alleyway to get out. Okay. Now if you'll actually give it a try. So for you, do you feel that your back is supported completely, or do you want the seat a little more?
This is good.
Okay. So again, she has kind of the same length femur as I do. So the back seat is in position where her back is pressed up against the seat, and so she's pretty stable. And then you can adjust this. So I'm gonna pull this back for you. And again, this locks her in to a larger range of motion. And then you're just gonna be working one leg at a time. So again, just extend the leg all the way up. And pause for a half second, working the muscle isometrically, and then slowly let that come down. You can be a little quicker than that. And again, you go to 3 to 5 reps for each one. Good. And as you can see, most of her body and all of the body besides the quadricep is stable. And you can do a couple more reps. And you can rest after that one. And then you can go to your right leg now.
Check it. Check. And the things that you're talking about. You know, back doors are that technical. Let me know when you're done. Okay.
And you can rest. So, how would you rate that on how difficult that was?
It's not too difficult.
So, 1 to 10 or 1 to 20, how difficult would you rate that?
How
So,
difficult?
1 is like very easy, and 20 is one of the hardest things you've ever done.
Oh, okay. So I think 2.
2? Okay. So for the next set, we're going to raise the poundage to about, we'll do 30, and see how that feels for her, and see if we can notice any weaknesses or any kind of compensation she makes. So I'm going to shift this. Again, let me know if this is too heavy. Okay, so now that we got perceived exertion, we're going to increase it to 30 pounds to see if we can find any imbalances or compensations he's making. Okay, and so you can go, again, 3 to 5 reps. So the weight's probably a little too much more for her, seeing that she's shifting her weight to one side to lift, as well as the lack of control on the eccentric, again, kind of dropping that weight. So that could be, again, just the weakness of the quadriceps, since this is a very kind of stable exercise where we're just targeting a muscle. And she doesn't have many things moving, so we'll probably just have to make adjustment with the weight rather than an imbalance because of the weakness of the hamstring, or excuse me, the quadricep. So I'm going to adjust this to 20 for your right, and you can give that a go. Good. That was great. So the first couple reps, she actually was still kind of shifting her weight and moving other parts to compensate for that. But I think she did recognize that she wanted to be stable. In the last couple reps, she really focused on kind of keeping the body still as she worked that muscle, because she has the strength, but it was just kind of working on form. So yeah, that will conclude the leg extension portion. Thank you.